What the fuck is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of HRTea After Dark. That was the dumbest shit I've ever done in my life. Today, we're gonna be we are going to be reacting to some Reddit stories. Thought we'd take a break from all the transphobia in the world. But can you ever really take a break from that? I don't know. Some of the Reddit stories are about being trans, some are transphobic, some are about gay men. Figuring out they're gay or doing gay shit and not realizing that they're gay, which I found funny. Before we start, hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And if you could also go back to my last two episodes with the one and only Nikki about Ava Chris Tyson and about the Olympics, Amani Khalif. They're very interesting episodes and they did not get as much attention as I wanted them to. So please stop this video right now. Go check out those videos, show them some love. I would really appreciate it. And then come back and watch these stupid ass stories with me. All right, let's just get into it, I guess.
I'm dating a trans girl and nobody knows. Me, M19, and my girlfriend, F19, have been dating for a few months. We met online and have been internet friends for quite some time before we confessed our feelings for each other and officially started dating. If I had to describe my dream girl, it would be her. It's almost like she was made just for me. We share same interests, including anime, Legos, fashion, and Spider-Man, of course. Not to mention she's drop-dead gorgeous and not in a simple girl-next-door kind of way. I can't even describe how beautiful she is. She's gained hundreds of thousands of followers on social media just for posting her face and body. She has a petite, hourglass figure that makes you wonder how it's even scientifically possible to look that sexy. When we go out in public, people stare and break their necks to look at her. At first, all of the attention she received made me insecure, but she quickly helped me get over it. Like the title says, nobody knows that she's trans except for me and her family. When she first told me, I was understandably shocked, but also touched that she felt comfortable enough to tell me. This was way before we started dating, but I still fell in love with her incredible personality and beauty. Her being transgender hasn't bothered me at all, but lately she's been feeling very insecure about it. My girlfriend is a massive overthinker and is scared that I might lose feelings for her down the line. She's brought up the fact that we won't being able to have our own children, and is afraid that I might end up with a biological woman. I keep trying to reassure her that I will always love her, and that we'll figure it all out when the time comes. I mean, we're 19, for Christ's sake. I can't even picture myself spending the rest of my life with anyone other than this girl.
So I don't know really why I chose that one. There's really nothing wrong with it. I thought it was a good one to start off with. I think it's adorable. I thought it was a good way to show that for trans people, trans women especially, because I feel like it's harder for them to date, that it is possible to find love. I think at first when I saw this video, I was like, well, duh, trans women are gorgeous. Ignorant people who don't understand transness are like, wow, she's actually pretty. Wow, a biological male can be actually sexy as hell. No hate to the guy who, shared this story or anything. He's just obsessed with his girlfriend, as he fucking should be. But I just felt like it was a good opportunity to be like, hey, yeah, trans people, trans women especially, are pretty. And it doesn't have to be this like groundbreaking discovery, you know what I mean? But I really just wanted to share this one because it was cute as hell, and I would like trans women to know that they are lovable. Anyway.
Every trans person I know is effing insane and I want out. I'm trans myself. When I first came out, I sought out trans groups on Facebook to find support, others like me, that kind of thing. At first it was really cool knowing I'm not alone, even had common interests with some and befriended them. That's where problems started. These people are the most angry, callous, aggressive people ever. It wasn't long before the language of all my friends got policed, and I'd get messages with screenshots saying, your friend did this, why are you friends with someone like that? Not wanting to lose the only connection to others like myself, I'd cut off that friend. Next thing I know, pretty much none of my old friends are around anymore. I just know these left booker trans people, who are non-stop sharing articles of dead trans women or screaming about how some cross-dressing anime boy is actually a trans woman or some other dumb stuff. There was so much infighting, doxing each other, calling each other names, telling people to shut up and die based on their gender, cisness, race. It was hell. I distanced myself from the groups and got some backlash telling me to unalive myself over it. I managed to preserve and then started to actually engage in my hobbies. For about a year my entire being was just trans.
Okay, so look, I am the first motherfucker to tell you that trans people can be toxic as all hell. And obviously I don't know the details of this story, but to me, It seems like the person who wrote this story or shared this story is the kind of person who has a dark sense of humor and doesn't care about people's feelings, where like trans people tend to be very like PC and woke. Can it be a lot? Yeah, 100%. But I don't know, the part where he was like, the trans people in his life were telling him that his other friends were shitty for saying certain things. I'ma trust that trans person. I'ma trust them because like I've had friends throughout time who like say slurs. We'll just say slurs sometimes and be like, it's not that fucking deep. It's no big deal, really. It's just a word. Like, no, it is 2024. And I just think that trans people know how to be funny without hurting other people. And there are trans people out there, specifically trans men. I think it comes from a deep place of insecurity who have no problem coming after, you know, the trans community themselves because they're insecure about being trans, or coming after other communities because they know what it's like to be a minority, and it's just not that deep. Girl, it's giving Blair White. And the part where he was like, you know, all my trans friends just keep sharing articles or stories about dead trans women, he made it seem like that was just not okay. Are you realizing the depth of that situation and how fucked it is? Oh, I'm so sorry your trans friends just want to make it clear that being trans is fucking hard and it's not right that we're dying. It's a bold thing to say that trans people are the most aggressive and callous people you've ever met in your life. Have you stepped outside? Like, no, we're just fighting for our fucking rights, okay? All of the comments are like, I fully agree with this, I'm trans too, and my god, being trans and having trans problems aren't my entire life. And when others do that, it ruins it for me because everyone thinks I'm like that and I'm not. That pisses me the fuck off because I'm trans, okay? Like y'all didn't know. I think online, it definitely seems like I make being trans my entire personality. And I see how it comes off that way, but this is just what I want to do for a living. This is just what I'm passionate about. But outside of my content, I'm not like out on the streets being like, I'm trans, me. Like, no, like, holy shit, just stop and realize that we are treated so fucking poorly that if we don't shout it from the fucking rooftops, like on social media, we won't be heard. And for you to diminish that and be like, well, stop making being trans your entire personality. Go fuck yourself. You are the problem, and that is transphobic. Next.
My daughter has a friend with a crush on her who is a trans boy. Need a little help with boundaries. My daughter is a junior in high school and has a friend, we'll call him Joe, not his name, who is trans. I asked Joe what pronoun he prefers and he said male pronouns. So, like why I do. He is only out to some people, and his parents are against the whole idea. He is not able to make his own choices on hormones or surgery yet. So here's the thing, I trust my daughter, but we do have house rules like no boys sleeping over or friends at the house when no parents are home. And I'm pretty sure Joe is interested in my daughter romantically, although she is not into dating anyone right now. So I also feel weird setting boy boundaries with someone who is going through what he is. He should be able to have a friend, but he also wants more than friendship. On the other hand, he positively preens when I say stuff like, guys aren't allowed to sleep over, so I want to let him know, even in a backward-ass way, that it's cool for him to be a guy here. Even if that means he can't be here at times because of outdated rules, which I'll fully admit to. Am I being an asshole to him? This whole situation has me tied up in knots. Help.
Okay, so this one is, I feel like it was stupid. I feel like this is dumb. It's like you're paying too much attention to the fact that he's trans. He's a trans kid. He's a trans boy. Treat him as such. If you don't want your daughter having sleepovers with a boy, then she shouldn't be having sleepovers with a trans boy either, because he is a boy. Treat him as if he was a cis boy who had romantic feelings towards your daughter. Obviously, give him space to be himself in your home since he doesn't have that in his own home. You know, go out of your way maybe to like treat him as he wants to be treated. But like, I think as she said, like it would give him euphoria to like be treated as if he was a cis male who you wouldn't want having sex with his daughter. Just because he's a trans guy doesn't mean it's okay for them to have sex in your home. I just don't think this was necessary. I guess I appreciate her asking the question, you know, trying to get more educated, but I feel like it's so simple. Like, why did you have to turn to Reddit and ask like a million people for advice when the answer is just so clear? And all the comments are like, treat him how you would treat any boy. Why is like transness so alien to you people? Even if it wasn't a trans guy, even if your daughter was a lesbian and like had a girlfriend over, like, would you still want them to be, sexually involved in your home? No, probably not. That's your kid. Like, why does it become complicated when you put the word trans in there somewhere? Treat us like human beings. I don't know. Okay, next. This is one of the ones I chose that are about straight men doing gay things, and I chose it because it's funny. Straight men make me laugh because, like, they do these gay things, and then they're like, I'm not gay, though.
Straight men, what's the most homosexual thing you've done? 1. Old high school locker room games of gay chicken. The problem was some of those guys were bi-curious. And the rest of us were stupid. 2.
I don't know what gay chicken is. What's gay chicken? You and a buddy grab each other's cocks, and the first to get an erection loses?
Oh, shit.
If you are grabbing your buddy's cock in one hand, waiting for it to get erect, and it does, you're both gay. I'm sorry, but like, Jesus Christ.
Took a selfie with a friend while kissing to set his home screen on a third friend's iPad.
That's cute.
3. When I was 5, my best friend across the street taught me a game called Santa Claus where we would sit on each other's laps with our pants down and our pee in the other's butt crack. After I grew up, I realized he may have been sexually abused.
The top comment is, the Santa Claus one is sad. Like, how is that even in question if that's gay or not? Maybe you didn't grow up to, like, be gay, but that's a gay act. I understand that kids do some weird shit when they're younger and experiment in ways that they don't even know they're experimenting, but, like, that's gay sex. That's just straight up gay intimacy right there.
4. I told my previous neighbor I'd F him in the butt if he blocked my driveway again with his truck. 5.
That one just sounds like something I say to my friends on a daily basis. I don't think that's too gay.
Checked if my fingernails had dirt under them with my palm facing out rather than in.
Checked his fingernails facing out rather than in. Oh yeah, this feels gay.
6. According to my college buddies, using an umbrella.
Using an umbrella is gay? I mean, like, how insecure do you have to be? Come on.
7. Someone blew on my butthole after a shower to dry it. That was close enough for me. 8.
How do you get into the situation of someone blowing on your toilet paper or a towel? To blow on somebody's butthole, you have to... You know what I mean? I mean, you're making it seem like somebody, like, involuntarily walked up to you and went... That is a gay act. Cis men are so, like, their sense of humor is being gay with their buddies and, like, still being straight. Where is the line? Because that right there, that is odd. Cis men do the weirdest fucking shit with their friends and then go and judge other communities for being gay or being trans. Meanwhile, they're out here doing this shit? Are you fucking kidding me right now? I can't. This world wasn't made for me, dude. I can't.
8. A friend of mine got sucked off by his next door neighbor to see if he was gay. He's not gay, it turns out. But his neighbor is definitely a pedophile. 9. I told my buddy I loved him, but before I could say no homo, I sneezed and missed the window, so now we've been married for 14 years and have 2 adopted daughters. 10.
Bye.
Watched Henry Cavill assemble his gaming PC. 11. About once every year or two, I have like a single pleasuring session where I fantasize about being with a dude. The idea comes out of nowhere and is fairly intense, and then once it's over the desire goes away. So I figure I'm still straight, but like only 99.9% straight. There's a little 0.1% lingering around there in the back of my mind.
I would call that a little bit more than 0.1%, buddy. I just feel like, if there's so many people on a million Reddit pages being anonymous and being like, yeah, I've done all of these gay things, I might be gay, blah, 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 I fucked my best friend, now I'm gay, blah, blah, blah. Think of the, like, straightest man in your life. He's probably a little gay. You know what I mean? I just feel like they're all hiding their sexuality.
I'm uncomfortable with my trans sister wearing a dress to my wedding. I am getting married next month. I have one sister who is trans MTF who came out to me 5 years ago, and came out to our family recently. I love her very much, we're very close. The issue here is this is her first time presenting as a woman in public, and I feel like that is taking the attention away from myself and my fiancé. She sent me a message the other day asking if her outfit was okay for my wedding. It was a very tight, very low cut and revealing sexy cocktail dress. I told her I was uncomfortable with my wedding being the first place she publicly presented as a woman, as the attention would be on her and not me, and that's the one day it should be on me. After I said that, she called me and started yelling at me, calling me transphobic and an attention whore. Her girlfriend told me I made her incredibly upset and need to apologize and tell her she can wear it. Am I in the wrong?
Yeah, you are. I understand that a woman's wedding day is her day and yada yada blah. But like, holy shit, this is somebody's fucking identity. Who the absolute fuck are you to tell a woman that they are not allowed to dress the way they want? That is who she fucking is, and you're a whole bitch for not letting her do that. Most of the comments are, bro got gaslight into believing she was in the wrong. Just tell her she's uninvited, dog. And the other one is, what is up with people deciding other people's weddings and birthdays should be their moment to come out? Go fuck yourself. It is one day, and all of the attention is still on you. If the attention is on your sister for coming out, that's not your fucking problem, and it's probably your fault for pointing it out so much. She literally just wants to support you on your wedding day as herself, so when she looks back on pictures one day, she doesn't have to be upset by it. Like, understand that your wedding day is supposed to be special, but are you that fucking selfish that you wouldn't let your sister present as your sister? Yeah, you're in the fucking wrong. You're the asshole. It's really crazy what you can find on the internet. I'll tell you that much.
I've been turning my insecure friends gay so they will sleep with me.
Okay. This one is fucked.
I first found out I was attracted to men way back in middle school. I'm 20 now and nothing has really changed about me since finding it out. I never changed personalities, or became more feminine. I basically looked completely straight. My voice is insanely deep, so none of my friends ever suspected it either. I've always been the athletic kind. I played football back in high school and am now signed to a D1 college for it. Crazy how time flies. Regardless, I've always hung out around the athletes during my school years, and most of my core friends were all in my team. It was always hard for me to fulfill my sensual fantasies because I never really expressed that I was outwardly gay. I also wasn't necessarily attracted to the average gay man. I liked more masculine figures, and normally only found straight guys attractive. One day I was chilling in my college locker room after practice when one of my teammates came up to me. I had always found him attractive, but was confused as to why he was talking to me. He then starts talking to me about how he doesn't know how to get girls, and that he wants to get stronger and more built like me. At first, I was really confused, but then I realized my opportunity here. I had to turn him gay. I instantly offered to help him with training, so that I could get closer to him. Here is where the really messed up parts happen. I was so twisted that I would mentally get in his head about certain things. I would give him fake tips on how to improve his build, ultimately crushing his morale. After about a month of grueling training, he wasn't seeing much improvement as I had planned. We had become increasingly close and normally ate lunch together pretty much every day. One night when he was feeling especially down, I invited him over to play video games and maybe study a little. He agreed and we made our way to my place. My plan was coming into action, and I was ready for my first taste of something sensual. We played Call of Duty for an hour or two, and instead of studying, we decided to get some beers and watch a movie. While I slowly start making my move, I was inching closer to him on the couch. At some point, he seemed to realize what I was doing, but to my surprise, he started inching toward me too. That is when I knew my plan had succeeded. We ended up doing ungodly things to each other that night, and it gave me a rush like never before. We ended up hooking up for a couple of months, until I started to get bored. I wanted something new, but I knew that my intimate partner would have dirt over me if we broke up. So I decided to put dirt over him first. I put performance-enhancing pills in his bag one day, where soon the assistant coach found them. This led to him being kicked off the team, in which I told him I could no longer see him as it would look bad for me. He was devastated but understood. Since then, I've found 2 more college guys that I have been doing this to. I can't help but think they must have already been gay before I found them, but I feel as though my manipulative actions really account for most of their change. I've gotten to the point where I feel bad for them, and I'm starting to regret the things I've done, but I can't go back from it. I'm addicted, I really am. Every time I end up scoring with a guy it gives me this rush that I just can't describe, and it makes every screwed thing I did worth it. I have a feeling I will get caught eventually, and that is what makes it harder for me to continue each time, but it's my guilty pleasure, and what is life if you don't live a little?
I would like to take a second and read some of these fucking comments to you. I see 2 right now. Iconic, if you ask me. Game is game. Bro is a villain. Mask for mask villain. If this was a woman he did this to, these comments would be very, very different. Why am I the only one realizing that? That is psychotic behavior. You are manipulating people into having sex with you, and then as soon as you get bored of them, you ruin their life so you can move on to your next victim. Sociopath. You are a sociopath. Being gay has nothing to do with this fucking video. You are just a sociopath. Just because you're doing it to a man doesn't make it any fucking better. That's sexual assault. You are manipulating people into having sex with you, and the way he tells the story, he's like he's getting off on being the villain. He wants people to be like, oh, that's fucked up, and he loves it. There are people out there walking about like this, and we have no idea. And they're all fucking men. I am so afraid. Men are terrifying. I think he's like still in the closet and doesn't tell people that he's gay. And just because he can't find the balls in him to come out, he hurts other people. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I appreciate you watching. I hope it was a good switch up from what we've been doing lately. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite, your thoughts on all of them. Share some love, like it, subscribe. That would really mean a lot to me. And if you could subscribe to my Patreon, if you can, I would greatly appreciate it. There probably will be bonus content from this episode on my Patreon. Make sure you join my Discord. Follow me on Twitch. I stream every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And go check out the podcast if you haven't already. I drop videos every Tuesdays at 2 p.m. After Dark videos come out at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that is about it. I love y'all to death. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you next week. Bye.